Right friends, welcome back to questions and answers for 23rd week. Name the city which adopted the Gangetic River dolphin as its mascot. The city we are talking about is Guwahati. It is for the first time in India a city adopted an animal as mascot. Who among the following was named as the ambassador for Swachh Sathi? Diya Mirza became ambassador for Swachh Sathi, and basically it is a youth based internship program. I am talking about Swachh Sathi. Swachh Sathi is a youth based internship program of Swachh Bharat mission. Under this Swachh Sathi program, more than 2000 interns will be enrolled, and they will coordinate with around 10,000 schools across the country to ensure that all students in these schools take pledge for clean India. Basically, to ensure participation of students in this Swachh Bharat mission, this Swachh Sathi program was contemplated, and now Diya Mirza will be the ambassador for Swachh Sathi. Allocation for recapitalization of public sector banks in 2016-17 budget, and please don't forget, based on the Basel guidelines, Reserve Bank of India stipulated capital adequacy ratio of 9%, and to ensure this capital adequacy ratio of 9%, now large scale infusion of capital into the public sector banks is required, and keeping that in mind, the central government allocated rupees 25,000 crores for this purpose in budget. Which of the following country leads in production of uranium? And if you look at the production of uranium in 2014, Kazakhstan 23,000 tons, Canada 9,000 tons, Australia 5,000 tons, Niger and Namibia are in 4th and 5th positions with 4,000 tons and 3,000 tons. So from this, you can come to the conclusion how it is important for India to have trade relations with the Central Asia region. All of you are familiar with Kazakhstan. This is a Central Asian country, and India produced just 385 tons in 2014, and our requirement to feed the reactors is more than 1000 tons. So we are primarily dependent on imports. Right friends, look at the next one. Name the bank which launched India's first internationally listed certified green bond to finance climate change solutions around the world. So this Axis Bank launched India's first internationally listed certified green bonds, and London Stock Exchange is the world leader in green bond listings, and the proceedings will be invested in green energy, transportation and infrastructure projects, and it is a part of the Axis Bank's program of $5 billion medium term note. You may ask what is meant by medium term note? Medium term note, normally this is the name in foreign countries, and the time period is usually between 5 to 10 years for the bonds. Then they are called medium term notes, and basically this program is for green and sustainable environment. Looking to the next one, Uyghurs are fighting for their rights in China. All of you are familiar with Dalkun Isa. He is the Uyghur leader. Uyghurs are basically persons of Turkic origin, and they strongly feel that human rights are being violated in China, and they claim that their region, that is East Turkestan, was occupied and has been under the military control of Communist China since 1949. Please look into this slide. This is Xinjiang province of China, and former name was East Turkestan, and this Xinjiang province is a part of China. Xinjiang province is autonomous region in China, just like Tibet, and Uyghurs are fighting for their rights in this Xinjiang province. There are around 1 crore Uyghurs staying in Xinjiang province of China, and their leader is Dalkun Isa. And recently, World Uyghur Congress was held. All of you are familiar with the incident involving the visa of Dalkun Isa. First, India permitted and then subsequently withdrawn visa for Dalkun Isa. Look into the next one, Udta Punjab. This is into the news recently because 89 cuts by Central Board of Film Certification, but the film is about drugs. And Shyam Benegal Committee, all of you are familiar with the Shyam Benegal Committee. It was constituted to suggest reforms in CBFC, and it suggested instead of censoring the films should be classified into viewership for different age groups. And Central Board of Film Certification, if you look at Udta Punjab, suggested 89 cuts, but Bombay High Court allowed the release with just one cut. And please don't forget, Central Board of Film Certification basically certifies the films based on Cinematography Act of 1952. Euro 2016 was kicked off in France, and this is prestigious tournament of the men's national teams of the Union of European Football Associations, and this is being held once in 4 years since 1960. This year 24 countries are participating at 10 locations in France, and final will be played at Stade de France, Paris. Defending champions are Spain. And if you look at more details about Euro 2016, 24 teams are participating. Spain won the tournament in 2008 and again in 2012. And for the first time, 24 teams are competing and 16 teams participated in every edition up to 2012. And now the tournaments are being held under the state of emergency being imposed in France because of terrorist incidents recently. And look at the next one, SEBI's stringent norms are participatory notes. These participatory notes are issued by foreign portfolio investors. Previously, the details of participatory notes are not known to SEBI, but now participatory note holders have to follow KYC norms. And these regulations will come into force from 1st July 2016. Please don't forget. Rupees 10,000 crore Stand Up India Fund is maintained by SIDBI, and at the same time, please don't forget, rupees 2,000 crore India Aspiration Fund is also maintained by SIDBI. And look into the next question, Shanghai-based New Development Bank. All of you are familiar with KV Kamath. He is the president of New Development Bank, and Shanghai-based New Development Bank plans to issue first tranche of green bonds of 5-year duration, that is basically for sustainable development projects, and they are going to issue in yuan currency. And NDB also stated that they will issue bonds in other currencies also. And at the same time, please don't forget about the first tranche of loans announced by NDB in April 2016. They are for Brazil $300 million, for India $250 million, South Africa $180 million, and for China $81 million. These figures, please don't forget. Asia's largest annual security forum, Shangri-La Dialogue, was held recently in Singapore. You may ask, where is Shangri-La? Shangri-La is basically the name of a hotel in Singapore, and this is started by the Singapore government and International Institute for Strategic Studies, London. And the discussions were focused on territorial disputes in South China Sea, Islamist terrorism, provocations by North Korea with their missiles program, cyber security, and military competition among the countries. So if someone talks about Shangri-La Dialogue, please don't forget, this pertains to Singapore. Shangri-La is the name of the hotel in Singapore. Neeta Ambani, chairperson of the Reliance Foundation, was nominated as a candidate to be a new member of International Olympic Committee. International Olympic Committee, Thomas Bach is the head, and at the same time headquarters is Lausanne, Switzerland. And this International Olympic Committee is the supreme authority of the Olympic movement, and Neeta Ambani was nominated as a candidate to be a new member of IOC, and Sir Dorabji Tata was the first Indian representative in International Olympic Committee. Name the state government which launched Asia's first gyps vulture reintroduction program. The vulture population in recent times is declining rapidly, and the reason for it is diclofenac. Diclofenac is given to the cattle to control inflammations and pain, and by eating the carcasses of animals, the vulture population is dying, and diclofenac was banned by Government of India for veterinary use in 2006. But with the use of diclofenac, the vulture population is reducing. And to increase the population of vultures, this Haryana state government introduced gyps vulture reintroduction program. Please don't forget, the answer here is Haryana. Scientists from Harvard University have created a unique bionic leaf that uses solar energy to create liquid fuel, and the scientists from Harvard University have created this. And basically this bionic leaf uses solar energy to split water molecules into oxygen and hydrogen, and after splitting this, hydrogen eating bacteria will produce liquid fuels from carbon dioxide. So this system converts solar energy to biomass with 10% efficiency, and this is nothing but artificial photosynthesis system. Look into the next one. Name the country which conferred the Prime Minister Narendra Modi with Amir Amanullah Khan Award. Please look into this slide. He was presented with Amir Amanullah Khan Award, and this award was presented by Afghanistan. Amanullah Khan was the ruler in Afghanistan from 1919 to 1929, and after the Third Anglo-Afghan War, he was able to pursue an independent foreign policy free from the influence of British, and at the same time he was the first ruler who attempted to modernize Afghanistan on Western thoughts. Right? So the Prime Minister was conferred with the Amir Amanullah Khan Award. We celebrate World Environment Day every year on June 5, and for 2016 host country is Angola. Please don't forget. And at the same time, the theme for 2016 is zero tolerance for the illegal wildlife trade. And please don't forget, this was established by United Nations General Assembly in 1972. It is the global initiative of United Nations Environment Program. The most important is the Railway Minister flagged off a semi-luxury tourist train Tiger Express from Safdarjung station. Look into the next one. Name the state government which launched a mobile application, that is Rajvayu, for sharing information on air quality index of 3 cities. For sharing information on air quality index of 3 cities, this Rajvayu was launched, and the state we are talking about is Rajasthan. It was also launched on World Environment Day on June 5, and this shares information about air quality index of Jaipur, Udaipur and Jodhpur. And at the same time, don't forget, Rajasthan also launched another application, Drishti, for monitoring pollution levels in industrial areas. Look into the next one. India signed a Memorandum of Understanding with the United States of America to facilitate hassle-free entry of Indians into America at more than 40 airports. And India became the 9th country. Basically, it will result in speedy security clearances for pre-approved low-risk travelers going to America from India. So India became the 9th country. Total number of members in Nuclear Suppliers Group, very important, 48. India is seeking membership. And you may ask when it was formed. Nuclear Suppliers Group was formed in 1974. Subsequent to the first nuclear test conducted by India was codenamed Smiling Buddha. Basically, NSG was set up to stop the misuse of nuclear material meant for peaceful purposes. And NSG, this 48 country group, controls trade in nuclear materials as well as transfer of technology. Gangetic River dolphin, we have just now learnt, was declared as the official mascot of Guwahati. And what is the local name? The local name is Sihu, please don't forget. And this was selected after the voting process among 3 animals. The 3 animals, please look into this slide. One is river dolphin or Sihu. The second one is greater adjutant stork, or you can say Hargila. Third one is black soft shell turtle, or you can say Borcaso. Voting was held among these 3 animals. Finally, river dolphin got the maximum votes and it was declared as the official mascot of Guwahati. This is for the first time a city has got official mascot in India, and at the same time this river dolphin is also known as tiger of Ganga. It is a freshwater dolphin, and this is also the national aquatic animal of India. And IUCN, the international organization, listed it as endangered animal. And at the same time, this river dolphin was also placed in Schedule 1 of the Wildlife Protection Act of 1972. Look at the next one. Ambar Gurung, who composed Nepal's national anthem, was passed away, and he was born in West Bengal, please don't forget. And Ambar Gurung was the composer of national anthem of Nepal, but Baikul Maila was the author of national anthem. These things don't forget. The Home Minister Rajnath Singh stated that a new reserve battalion named as Maharana India Reserve Battalion will be raised. And recently, we celebrated 475th birth anniversary of Maharana Pratap. Maharana Pratap was a great warrior who fought bravely the Mughals, and he was born in Rajasthan. Recently, we celebrated 475th birth anniversary of Maharana Pratap. In 2015-16, the GDP growth was 7.6%. It is categorized as real GDP and GDP at constant prices. The figures which we are looking at are real GDP figures. So, the real GDP for 2015-16 is 7.6%. It is also known as GDP at constant prices of 2011-12. And CSO releases GDP figures, and the quarter 4 growth was still higher at 7.9% for the 4th quarter of 2015-16. And if you do not consider inflation into account, that means GDP at current prices is known as nominal GDP. So, without considering inflation, the figures arrived at are nominal GDP, and taking some year as the base year, that means taking some years prices as constant prices. If you calculate GDP, it is known as a real GDP, please don't forget. Name the country whose scientists have designed the world's first microchip that contains 1000 independent programmable processors. The country we are talking about is United States of America, and it can compute 1.78 trillion instructions per second. Look at the next question. Which of the following is building a battery powered, energy efficient, experimental airplane with 14 electric motors? Basically, NASA is developing new propulsion technology by using 14 electric motors. And this experimental airplane, please look into this slide, this experimental airplane is designated as X-57. Look into the next one. Delhi-born Indian-American author Akhil Sharma, and he has won the prestigious International Dublin Literary Award for his novel Family Life. And the first novel of Akhil Sharma is An Obedient Father, and the second novel is Family Life, and this got Dublin Literary Award of 1 lakh euro. And previously, this Family Life got 2015 Folio Prize worth 40,000 pounds. As per the Reserve Bank of India guidelines, maximum amount allowed per transaction by using contactless cards is rupees 2000 per each transaction. And per day, maximum 5 transactions are allowed, and the process is just touch and go. And this works on near field communication technology. And banks have released several cards. SBI came up with Style Up card and Visa Signature card. ICICI came up with Coral. Then Axis Bank came up with Miles and More. Not only that, all of you are familiar with the Burgundy card of Axis Bank. So these are all touch and go cards, or you can say which work on near field communication technology. Look into the next one. As per the statistical review of world energy by British Petroleum, India became the third largest oil consumer in the world. Previously, third spot was held by Japan, but now third spot was taken over by India. The first place, USA, 19 million barrels per day. China, around 12 million barrels per day. India, 4 million barrels per day. And total world's requirement is 95 million barrels per day, and around 20% share is held by United States of America. India's share is around 4.5%, but the interesting point is India's growth of petroleum consumption is 8.1% in comparison to 1.6% growth by United States of America. Another important point I would like to tell you, share of fuels in global energy consumption, oil occupies 33%, coal 29%, natural gas around 24%. Look into the next one. During the visit of the Prime Minister to United States of America, both the countries signed 6 agreements or MOUs, and they include exchange of terrorist screening information and MOUs on energy security, clean energy and climate change. Name the country which honored United Nations Secretary General Ban Ki-moon with Order of Friendship Award, that is Russia. And this is the State Decoration of Russia, established in 1994. It is given to not only Russian citizens but also to foreign nationals for outstanding efforts for betterment of relations with Russia. And when you talk about Ban Ki-moon, he is from South Korea. He is the Secretary General of United Nations since 1st January 2007. He is now in his second term of 5 years as Secretary General of United Nations. Internet Sathi was launched in West Bengal. This is being launched in several states. It is the joint initiative of Tata Trust and Google. What is the purpose of Internet Sathi? The purpose of Internet Sathi is to create awareness about the benefits of Internet in Indian women. And in the country, this was launched for the first time in July 2015. The trilateral naval exercises, Malabar, are being held near South China Sea, and this is the 20th edition. And somebody talks about the Malabar joint exercises. This pertains to 3 countries, India, United States of America and Japan. Please look into this. This is the South China Sea, and several countries have got territorial disputes in South China Sea with China. Please don't forget. Saina Nehwal won the 2016 Australian Open Super Series badminton title in women's singles category, and final was played at Sydney, and in the final she defeated Sun Yu of China, and this is her first title in 2016 and second Australian Open title overall. Name the country which launched 23rd Baidu navigation satellite. This Baidu series pertains to China, just like GPS of United States of America. Baidu is their own navigation system, and basically this is to support global navigation and positioning network. Name the country which became the first in the world to prohibit deforestation. Norway is the country. Please look into this slide. This is the location of Norway, and Norway is the country to prohibit deforestation, and government public procurement policies will be deforestation free. Lewis Hamilton won the 2016 Canadian Grand Prix of Formula 1, and he belongs to United Kingdom. So certain names, whoever are participating in these Grand Prix Formula 1 tournaments, please don't forget Lewis Hamilton belongs to United Kingdom and Nico Rosberg belongs to Germany. These things please don't forget. Satyapal Jain was appointed as a part-time member of the 21st Law Commission. The chairman of Law Commission is B.S. Chauhan, and if you talk about Law Commission, it is advisory body frequently publishing reports, and it is non-constitutional and non-statutory. It is basically created with executive orders, instituted in 1955. Now the 21st Law Commission term is in progress, and don't forget B.S. Chauhan is the chairman of Law Commission. Right friends, with this let us conclude questions and answers. Have a nice day. Thank you.